analyze these two games, we'll make a amateur's mind out of this, even maybe without knowing it. So this is going to be interesting. So here come two games. Yeah, this will make it into YouTube video. So the first one I'm analyzing is played by JC629. Let's have a look into what's happening in the amateur's mind today. So we are playing a Queen's Indian defense. The most common moves here are A3, which was popularized by Petrosian, which is simply designed to disallow bishop B4 and then continue the fight for the, center with E4, and the other one is G3, which can turn into very positional and very wild depending on the intentions. Bishop G5 is a rare move here, not bad, but somewhat rare. Now with knight C3 we essentially land in a weird version of Nimzo, where I think this take is a little bit early, given that it was not forced, but it ruins the pawn structure, so it achieves certain pluses. I don't like bishop E2 in these types of positions, because why wouldn't you go to D3? It's all about the center, my friend, the center. Now you actually can play for E4, especially because we can utilize the pin. Bishop E2 is very, very passive. And it even allows black on occasion to go for some aggressive expansion like so, when the E4 square is very firmly in black's hands, and very often they go knight D7, queen E7 and F5, and they start developing a very nasty kingside initiative, which all stems from this very passive bishop E2 move. So make sure that we go into the center, as the chat is encouraging you to do. So, okay, another very strange move here. Yeah, I don't understand rook E1. Somewhat typical here is to drop the knight back to D2, and once again the intention is crystal clear. White wants to play F3, E4, expanding in the center. Also typical in this position, a move like A4, trying to loosen up the pawn structure a little bit on the queen side. Should black want to castle there, we can always go with A5, or if they play A5 themselves, then sometimes white has this C5 trick, especially when the king castles there. But essentially I think knight D2 is best here, with the idea of F3, E4. Okay, C5 provoking D5. Now this is a bit strange, because what do we do now after H6? If we drop back, we lose this pawn. Not that that's the end of the world, but yeah, this could be... Actually, no, I quite like this for white. Yeah, I don't know why the computer likes this so much. Let me just check on that for a second. What's wrong with bishop H4 here? Apparently not much. Okay. Dude, stop making moves in the other window. It ruins my YouTube video. Shush. Right, so it's not too bad actually. It's playable. I would definitely be more inclined here to play after H6 bishop H4 and fish in murky waters than giving up the bishop. Yeah, so that was definitely a possibility there. So D5, E5. Now we are back to a normal structure where you really want to play knight D2 followed by E4, then chuck the rook back and go for F4. Good. No! Don't do that! Okay, so this is very typical amateur's mind here. Oh, this is scary. Well, no, it's not. Black king is stuck in the middle, and the position is still flexible. So H5, with the intention of killing you here, is not going to achieve much. First of all, I've got H3, and black is stuck. Like, this attack has stopped fully in its tracks, and the F5 square has been dramatically weakened. I think this position is actually better than I thought at first for black. So after something like castles E4, both sides have their chances, but the long-term prospects are definitely with white due to this maneuver. Look at that juicy f5 square. And note how after a g4 I have h4, fully closing of the king side, no attack ever is going to happen there. Whereas if h4 I can just drop back, and now g4 is extremely difficult to achieve, especially knowing that this is my plan. So here we desperately needed to maintain the tension by not trading on f6, especially because even if you do trade, you're not preventing this attack. Okay, so they took back with the queen. Okay, knight e4, I don't mind that move. Queen e7, and now, because of your opponent wants to play f5, I would have considered he bishop g4. But I actually don't really like this whole business, because after something like castles, f5 is coming into our face. So maybe... maybe something like queen a4 first, and then bishop g4 next looks legit. So if they drop back bishop g4, and all of a sudden, these two dudes are stirring up the pot a little bit. Yeah, I quite like this actually for white. Now black is stuck in the middle. Not that that's a biggie again. Sometimes they do this king walk and it counts as castling, really. But this would have been quite nice to utilize the fact that the king got stuck in the middle. Okay, knight e4 back, a4. It's a good move at the wrong time, because now you allow your opponent to just castle and kick you out with f5. Okay, that I really dislike, because now b6 has been weakened big time. f4. Not bad, as long as you don't take on e5. So if f4 is played with the intention of increasing tension, it's a good move. If you take on e5, that's an absolute positional disaster. Because then the knight comes in onto the best square on the board, and you can never ever kick it out from e5. That's an outpost. So you should never ever even think about doing that. In fact, again, bishop g4 comes to mind, and then eventually pushing this f5 in, ideally after a trade, securing a beautiful knight on e4 that then has a very juicy target for the rest of the game. Right, okay, f5 is horrid. Like, this is just absolutely terrible. Because now black has got everything. The open e-file, the e5 square, the backward pawn, and now the e4 knight is exposed. So this, I consider these moves to be worse than a blunder of a piece. Because blunders happen to everyone, but when we make moves like this, I just go like, what were you thinking? Like, backward pawn, knight on e4 is now wobbly as heck, and this one is coming in. This is terrible. So here, literally any other move that doesn't relieve this tension would have been totally fine. After this, we are strategically dead lost. Back rook h8, I guess. I'm not sure if I like f5. Normally, I would just bring one of the rooks right away. For example, rook here. And if the knight drops back in similar fashion, I can just take this and the bishop has nowhere to go because it's pinned. So f5 looks like an unnecessary weakening move. Okay, this was really, really awesome that here you played e4 with the intention of bishop g4. Without bishop g4, this would be not good because queen g5, knight e5, full blockade. But this is awesome. So now we are going to trade the knight off. We will play knight d3 and break through with e5. That basically undid all the positional dramas that we have caused beforehand. That was beautifully played right until here. Now that's totally the wrong rook. Why would we go with this rook when very apparently we have this beautiful plan and this rook does absolutely nothing? Absolutely nothing on a1. So rook ab1 is the move, which then allows you to play for queen b3 as well as knight d3. What stat are I talking about, dude? I'm not talking with stat. Okay, rook b1, that was, yeah, very, very poor. Queen b2, now the game is over because they blundered b6. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I don't know why, but we don't seem to be keen on playing queen b6 followed by up, up, and then mate. That is an instant knockout. Having said that, rook doubled up followed by my favorite... Oh no, never mind, that doesn't actually work. No, rook up and then take and then queen a8 is going to be another way to finish this off. And yeah, your opponent promptly resigned here. Yeah, okay, so overall an interesting game. The thing I would like to highlight as the two biggest issues in this game were the fact that we put this bishop on e2 that was rather unnecessary. Then we also didn't play correctly for some sort of knight d2 f3 e4 plan. So the opening has been somewhat misplayed and misunderstood. This trade was really unnecessary. And yeah, that move, oh boy, that was really, really bad. Having said that, we bounced back from this afterwards very, very nicely. So the fighting spirit is definitely to be appreciated and recognized here because, yeah, as I said, after any rook to e8, we are pretty much dead here. Positionally, it is just a disaster. Bishop d3, f5, knight d2, rook f8 is, sorry, rook hf8 is the computer's main line, and I really do like it. Backward pawn, very bad bishop, dark square domination for black, and this is all because of we took on here. So black couldn't have forced it at all. But this is how these things go very often in the world of the amateur's mind. Nonetheless, I will consider this to be a pretty good game, especially if we consider, look at the huge rating discrepancy that you guys can't see on the screen. White is 1700 versus a 2180. That's massive. So a beautiful victory in that regard. Well done to JC. Thank you very much, buddy, for submitting this game for analysis on the stream. And now we are moving on to the one and only Just That Blue, who is also known as the LQH, who plays c4 against the French, which we very gently and kindly are just going to turn a blind eye to, because normally we would say, oi, d4, conquer the center, bro. But that didn't happen. Okay, so yeah, this is a no-go. The only way to play this, if we play with c4, is to take twice and play this isolated pawn structure with d4 incoming and try to play for some sort of dynamic chess. But to have this against the French is really, really not acceptable. My general piece of advice to all amateurs and club players is that if you are an e4 player and your opponent plays any move that allows d4 next, d4 is the best move there. And likewise, if you are a d4 player and your opponent plays something that allows e4, e4 is the best. We have already learned these things from the likes of Philidor and Greco and yeah, those dudes quite a while back, and these principles stand up to date, so there is no reason to differ from them. Like, this is going to be an unpleasant version of some sort of, I don't even know what. Bishop b5, I don't know. This is again typical that we create a pin that we can't really benefit from. So I would have preferred to turn it into some sort of gambit with, say, d4, and if they take, then bishop d3. But then again, maybe they won't touch it, they will just play bishop g4. I don't like the setup at all for white. Yeah, bishop d7 is probably also unnecessary. He's playing for the elastic bend. I don't know, lots of moves are possible here. Knight e7 with the idea of a6 next. And if the bishop retreats, the knight can come here, the bishop can come here, and we're piling up on the e5 pawn. Bishop d7 is very cheap, but we fell for it. So doesn't knight e5 win here for black? Oh, it did happen, right. Oh, maybe queen e2 is putting a spanner in the works, right. Or is it? Okay, this is interesting. So knight e5, queen e2, he played queen a5. I don't understand anything that's going on here. So first of all, if I take this, queen takes queen d7, this seems to be winning for black. Oh no, queen e2. I'm talking trash. So maybe knight c6 instead. But then we can pick up b7. So, okay. Maybe queen a5 was the way to go. But what again if I play knight c3 here? Wow, I'm so confuzzled. So, okay, let's go with bishop takes b5. This doesn't look right for black at all. I'm thinking about queen e5 check, something blocks. I don't know what, to be honest. Let's go with knight just to not to blunder this guy here. And then after bishop d2, we have got a gajillion things hanging here. This is looking really good for white. So maybe actually knight e5, I don't know if you blundered it, buddy, or not. You can openly admit it. But queen e2 seems like it did cook up some counterplay. At first I thought it was a lemon because of takes and queen d7, but in fact my queen d7 is a lemon because queen e2 back wins the knight. Very weird setup, really. Okay, so bishop b5 is not playable, and after the check I don't see after knight c3 how black is ever going to be okay here. I will turn on the engine. I'm curious if everything I said was correct. Oh, look at that! Look at that. Bishop takes queen here. Knight e7. DC. Okay, the engine goes for material. I wonder what bishop d2 gets as a evaluation. Almost as good as. Almost as good as. So yeah, okay, so it turned out that knight e5 was not really great. And I did tell you that bishop d7 is definitely not to my liking. And again, the computer loves my knight e7. Awesome. I'm glad that we are like-minded with the mighty machine. So the game went queen a5, bishop d2. Queen b5 check. So maybe this is a... actually, it's going to be quite similar by the looks of things. Knight e7, knight c3. Yeah, we landed in a very similar story. Yeah, I love this for white too. I love this for white. Huge development lead, open files, open everything. Yeah, this pawn grabbing didn't work out for black either way. I thought bishop d2 was sus, but it turns out that essentially it is a healthy transposition. Okay, why doesn't he play queen d3 with the intention of trying to block castling? Knight d5? This is a bit dirty. Yeah. This is tough. This is tough, man. This is tough. Maybe f6. Knight check king here. Yeah, I reckon black should have tried to fish in murky waters here. I don't like queen b2. Castles f6, queen h5. Legit. g6 back, legit. Bishop g7, rook b1, I like it. Although I would contest whether this or this is better. But because of one was followed by the other, it is awesome. I love this. Like, this is how I want my students to play chess. So if you look at the game from this point, this is what I want my students to do. Develop, ignore rubbish material, develop, castle king, open files, exploit the opponent's king stuck in the middle, ignore material considerations, and going for the kill. Beauty. So if you want me to give you a visual representation of how I want my students to play chess, I would say always stand like this as white and you will be a happy camper. This is just perfect. This is really good stuff. Hello everybody, by the way, whom I'm missing in the stream now because of my very massive engagement with this game. I love it. Trusted Blue, you make me proud as your coach, buddy. This is how I want you to play chess all the time. Look at that. And game over. Black resigned. And, for the record, because you can't see it again, the YouTube viewers, although I'll put it in the description, but white is 1600 against 1936. And I'm not sure what the time control was. 10 each. So this is epic. Minus this opening, that was really, really poorly played by white. From this point on, close to perfect chess. Boy, that was very impressive. Very, very impressive chess. I'm very, very proud. Yeah, so let's forget about c4 here. And let's forget about this push through nonsense. So here black solidly dominates the center. And the e5 pawn is weak. So here after something like knight e7, let's say castles, a6 takes, followed by bishop g4, bishop e7. Black's position is just fun. Whoa! Dr. Dragonitsky! Thank you for the raid, pal. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, that was massive. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Alright, so this opening looks like a disaster. But again, look at the play afterwards. It's beauty. It's all developing moves. Develop, develop, develop. Castle. Develop, develop. And by doing this, you are smashing. Absolutely brutalizing and smashing a 300 rated higher, 300 rated... Whoa, I'm struggling with English. Someone who is outrating you by 300 points and is completely destroyed. Beautiful chess. Absolutely amazing. Alright, so that will be us for the Amateur's Mind. I'm going to turn the music back